Hey guys, sorry I'm not here this afternoon. I have to go pick up my daughter. So I will not be here. Here is your video, and I'm also actually going to give you the answers to minute 10. They are kind of hard to see, but I can't really... I guess I can bring this down to go over answers. Alright, so minute 10, number 1. A Gigantosaurus weighs 2 3/10 times 10 to the power of 4 pounds. So we have 2.3 times 10, 3. 10 times 10 is 100. Times 10 is 1,000. Times 10 is 10,000. So now if we multiply this, we're going to get 23,000 pounds. LBS. 2, we have 4 times the sum of 6/10 plus 6/10. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and we have our decimal. 4 times 12 is 48, and then we have our 1 decimal place value. Write 59 10,000ths in scientific notation. Remember, scientific notation is you have one value and then your decimal. So we move 1, 2, 3 times. And because our number is going to be getting smaller, because this is smaller than this, it's a negative exponent. Rewrite A times A times B times C times A times B using exponents. Well, there are 3 A's, there are 2 B's, and there's 1 C. 7/20ths as a percent. Remember, percent means out of 100? Well, if you have 20 and we need it out of 100, 20 times 5 gets us our 100. 7 times 5 gives us 35. So our percent would be 35%. 8 to the power of 8 divided by 8 to the power of 3. When we have our same base, which is this bigger number written in a larger size font, you subtract your powers. 8 minus 3 is 5, so 8 to the power of 5. 8 minus 6 to the power of negative 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. When we have negative powers, it becomes a fraction with your base raised to that power. Remember, we went over it. If you have questions on it, go back to minute 6. Minute 4. Yeah, 6 and 4, we have notes on it if you have questions on it. Number 8. 24 is equal to 2 to the power of 3 times 3. Well, 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. And then we have 8 times 3, which is 24. So that is a true statement. If A equals 10 and B equals 2, then A divided by B times B is, well, 10 divided by 2 times 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. All of the following mean to multiply except would be C. So you should have your minute 10 corrected. I know on the slide it probably says I'm going to go over it tomorrow with you guys, but you should have all your answers here. Lesson 11. We are skipping lesson 10 and we are going right into lesson 11. Stuff you need. And should already have, because it's going to be on your slide that is shown. But if the slide's not up, then you need, I think it was 4 colored pencils and patty paper. If you don't have those, pause your video now and go get them. Warm up. A person's hands are mirrored images of each other. The left hand is labeled, shade all of the right hands. So if this is the left hand, your right hand is going to have the mitt or the thumb piece on the opposite side. So these two are opposites. They are mirrored images. Those ones show us that they are because they're next to each other. Now you can use your patty paper without mirroring your image, the only thing you can do is rotate translate. So we can move this any way we want. So we can see these two line up. So that is a right hand. You could have traced your left hand and then reflected it. So we could have traced it here and then reflected it to show that that one was it. Now you have to go through all of your hands. Here we go. There's another one. To determine if they are a reflection or not. And then we have this one, which is not. So there are 3 right hands and 4 left hands because you have the original one. For each pair of shapes, decide whether or not they are the same. So you should have patty paper. And if we were to trace A, is A and A the same? Are they the same shape? So this one looks like it turned. Yes. Pair is the same. How are they same? Well, we did a rotation. We rotated it, and I'm not going to say what point. I'm just saying it was rotated. Mathematically, we can go when we can find what the point was, but right now we're just trying to figure out if they're the same. B. If you need to trace it, trace it. So here is B. If I translate it, it's not the same. Why are they not the same? You need to answer that. C. We have spirals. Whoops, that's a little off. But that's okay. There we go. I think I fixed it. So C is not a translation or a rotation. However, it does work as a reflection. So C does work. Pair D. Some of these you might be able to see without tracing them. We're just tracing them because then you can prove that they are not the same. This one is also reflection. However, the other pair of it, they're not the same. One is big, one is smaller. And then E. E. So if I trace E, we have an innie, we have an outie. There you go. There's my tracing. If I rotate it so that it lines up, the top lines up, but does my side outie line up? No, I would need it down here, but then the top doesn't line up. So that means E is not the same. So we have 2 that are same, A and C, and then B, D, and E are not the same. Next, this is where your colors come in. You need 4 colors. If you want them to be the same line, you should have already grabbed colors, but I'm using red, orange, and green. So refer to the rectangles right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. We need to find area and perimeter to determine congruence. Area is length times width. Perimeter is add all sides. One of the equations is 2L plus 2W. Really, you're just adding all your sides. So before we go into the questions below, we are just going to get area and perimeter of every single one of them. So I'm going to write on all of mine AP, 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 and AP. So on R, we have an area of 2 times 3, which is 6, and a perimeter of 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, which is 10. On A, area 2 times 3 is 6, perimeter is 10. B, area 1 times 6 is 6. P, we have 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 and 1 is 14. D, area 1 times 4 is 4. Perimeter is 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1, 10. C, 1 times 6 is 6. 1 plus 6 plus 1 plus 6 is 14. E, 2 times 3 is 6. Perimeter 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 is 10. And F, area is 4 times 1, which is 4. And our perimeter is 4 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1, which is 10. That was quick, I know, I'm sorry. But once you were able to get 3 of them, A, B, and D, all of them were the same numbers. So my first one, I'm going to color this green. Which of the rectangles have the same area as rectangle R, R is up here, but different perimeters? So the area can be 6, but your perimeter cannot be 10. So area 6, 10. Area 6, but a perimeter of 14. So that means we can color B. Area 4, area 6, perimeter 14. So we can color C. 6, 10, can't do that because they're the same, and 4 and 10. They don't have the same area. So number 1, we have B and C. Number 2, I'm going to color that orange. Which rectangles have the same perimeter? So that means we have 10, but different areas. So perimeter of 10, but area not 6. So perimeter 10, area is 4. This one and this one are the same, and then F. So we have D and F. And 3, I'm going to use red, which have the same area and perimeter as R. So we have R. A is 6 and 10. And E is 6 and 10. So number 3, we're going to do A and E. Because we already colored, question 4 says, use the material from a geometry toolkit, which I just leave colors up at the front for you to use. Which rectangles are congruent? Shade congruent rectangles with the same color. We did that in these steps. Congruent means same shape, same size. They can be translated, reflected, rotated under a rigid transformation. So rigid means your shape does not change size. So same shape, same size means that they are congruent. Page 66, your summary. So we have the term congruent again. Congruent is same shape, same size. All angles must be the same then, no matter what way you either mirror your image, translate your image, rotate your image. Your sides and your angles, they are congruent. They are corresponding parts. They are never going to change size when you have congruent shapes. Homework. Page 67, number 1. If 2 rectangles have the same perimeter, do they have to be congruent? You need to fill this out in your book and respond to the question right here. Number 2, draw rectangles that have the same area but are not congruent. So their areas are both going to be 36, but they're going to be different sizes. Their lengths will be different. 3, for each shape, decide whether or not the 2 shapes are congruent. So same shape, same size. You will need patty paper here. 4A. You will need patty paper again. You will reflect A over the x-axis. Remember, this one's x. And you're going to create B. And then you're going to reflect B over the y-axis and label that C. Part B is are quadrilaterals A and C, so the first one and the last one you drew, are they congruent? So are they the same shape, same size? And how do you know? Remember, there's that special word, rigid transformation. If you don't know what it means, look it up in the back of your book and type in your response. 5. This one you're probably going to want to draw a coordinate plane. Doesn't have to be perfect. We have x, we have y. 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm probably going to need all these points on here. This is my original. It's rotated 9 degrees counterclockwise. Nope, that's clockwise. Counterclockwise. What are the coordinates of the image? So remember, we're rotating like this, the opposite way of a clock. And 6, describe the rigid transformation that takes polygon A to polygon B. Make sure you have answered all of these questions, and you tear out your page and you turn it in. Even though you put your answers in the Edpuzzle, you still need to rip this out and turn it in.